Hi everyone, welcome to the new part. In this part, we will learn about the .NET Core command line interface, that is CLI. So let's start. First of all, let's see what we are going to learn in this video. We will learn what is CLI, what all is possible with .NET CLI, what is .NET CLI driver, what is command, what is argument, and what is option in .NET Core CLI. .NET CLI commands demonstration. So basically we are going to demonstrate few commands of the .NET CLI. Now before learning about the .NET Core CLI, let's understand what is a CLI. The full form of CLI is command line interface. Okay, so CLI stands for command line interface. CLI is an interface which is used to interact with a program. Everything which is possible with the CLI you can do with the help of GUI as well. If we talk about the Visual Studio, then everything which is available in the CLI is available as a GUI. So basically Visual Studio is the GUI, which is graphical interface, and CLI is the command line interface. So there are two separate things. If you need to work with the .NET Core program, then there are two ways to work with that program. First one is the graphical user interface, and the second one is command line interface. So in this video I am going to talk about the CLI. Each language provides its own CLI to interact with the program. If we talk about the Angular, then Angular has its own CLI, which is ng. If you need to work with any kind of command of the Angular, then you can use Angular CLI. If you are working with a .NET Core, then we have .NET CLI. If we are working in the PHP, then similarly we have a CLI for the PHP. It means almost all the language has its own CLI. As per the Wikipedia, this is the definition of the CLI: a command line interface or command language interpreter, also known as command line user interface. Okay, so we can say it command line user interface also, console user interface, and character user interface. So these are few names of the CLI. Is a means of interacting with a computer program. So basically all it means is to interact with a computer program where the user issue commands to the program. So with the help of CLI we will provide some commands to the program in the form of successive line of text. So instead of doing all the clicks, all the manual things, we will write everything in the command form as a text form. A program which handle the interface is called a command line interpreter. Okay, so the thing which handle all those commands is known as CLI. Now let's see what is possible with .NET CLI. .NET CLI helps us to perform almost all the tasks which are required in order to work with a .NET Core application. When you are building a .NET Core application, then there are multiple things that you have to do, and all the things which are required in the development of a .NET Core application, that you can do with the help of .NET CLI. .NET CLI works with the command, and these commands are applicable on all type of application of .NET Core. Suppose you are working with a specific template of .NET Core. For example, suppose you are working with the console applications, or on the other hand you are working with the web applications. On the other hand you are working with the mobile applications or the Windows applications. Then all the commands which you perform on the .NET CLI are applicable on all the templates of the .NET Core. So in order to work with any kind of other templates, you have to learn the basic command of the .NET CLI. And once you get familiar with the .NET CLI commands, then you can use all the commands on any type of template. .NET CLI is a cross-platform tool for developing .NET applications. Similarly to the .NET SDK, we have .NET CLI, which is also a cross-platform. So you can use the CLI on any OS. It means if you are working with the Windows OS, then you can use the CLI. If you are working with the Mac OS, then also you can use the CLI. Or on the other hand, if you are working with the Linux operating system, then also you can use this .NET Core CLI. Now let's see what we can achieve with the .NET CLI in form of few examples. Before doing anything, you have to create a new project, and .NET Core CLI helps you in creating a new project. If you need to create a console project, web application, Windows application, mobile application or test application, all the templates which are available in .NET Core, you can create a new project of any of the template with the help of .NET CLI. Add update files, package, reference. In all the applications of .NET Core, you have to update, add, remove the packages, the references, and everything is possible with the help of .NET CLI. Clean, build and run the application. These are the most used commands in any .NET application. During the development, you have to build your solution, you have to clean your solution, and you have to run your solution. Everything is possible with the .NET CLI. And this is one of the most important part of the development, testing. So testing is also possible with the .NET CLI. Publish the application. After the development of the application, you have to publish your code. So .NET Core CLI also helps you to publish your application. Lots of them. These are very few examples of the .NET Core CLI. There are lots of commands which you can use on your program. Now let's see about the .NET CLI. If you need to install .NET CLI on your system, all you have to do is install the .NET Core SDK. Once you install the .NET Core SDK, the .NET CLI will automatically install on your system. After installing the .NET Core SDK on your system, you have to open any command line interface. You can use command prompt, you can use PowerShell, or you can use terminal. Or if you have any other CLI available on your system, then you can use that CLI. Now it's time to run the .NET Core command, and to run a .NET Core command we need a driver so that we can identify that this command is going to be related to the .NET Core, and for that the driver is .NET. So this is the keyword which works as a driver in the .NET CLI. Now type .NET on your CLI tool and press enter. If you get some error, it means there is some problem in the installation, or if you don't have any error, then you are good to go. Now let's talk something about the .NET CLI driver. To run any command or application from .NET Core CLI, we need a driver. In the .NET, all we have to do is we have to do two things. First one is execute a command, and the second one is run a .NET Core application. To perform both the actions, we need a driver. .NET is the driver for .NET Core CLI. It has two responsibilities. First one is running an app. All the apps which are dependent on the .NET Core framework, that can be run with the help of .NET Core CLI driver. And the second one is execute a command. .NET CLI driver also helps to execute a command. Now let's create a demo and see how these two responsibilities works. So suppose I'm here in my command prompt and I have switched to a new folder which is E drive, POC and .NET Core, and inside this POC I'm going to create a few projects. So first is, let's see how to execute a command. First we need a driver. So driver is .NET, and if I create a new project, new console, that's it, just press enter. Let's open the related folder. You can see that we have two files. First one is program.cs and second one is the CS pros. This is how the command work. Now the second part is run the application. Okay, to run the application we need to build the solution first. .NET build. Okay, so build is succeed, and let's see what are the changes in the folder. So here we have a new folder which is bin. We have debug, we have the .NET Core app 3.0, and we have all the required files which are generated after building the solution. Okay, if I open the command prompt here in this location, and now I type .NET and the DLL, which is .NET Core .dll. Okay, and if I press enter, you will see that we have the same output, which is the default output of the console application, hello world. And now we have performed two things. Let me open both the command prompts side by side. Here we have executed a command. This was a command .NET new console. This was a command .NET build. But now here on the right side I am running my application. So to run the application I need .NET, the driver and the file. This is how you can run your application. Now if you are working with the .NET CLI, then three things are very important to understand. First one is the command, argument and the option. So a command, also known as verb, is used to perform an action. For example, .NET build. Every action which is performed on .NET CLI is known as command. You can also say it as a verb. So the examples are .NET build, .NET new, .NET run, .NET publish. All these are the examples of the command. It means we are performing some actions. Now let's see what is argument. Arguments are passed to command invoked. For examples, if I enter the command .NET publish and the CSPros files, it means the .NET core driver is going to publish my app.csPros file. So here .NET publish is a command and my app.csPros is the argument which is used for the publish command. Okay. The purpose of this command is to publish the CSPros file which is myapp.csPros. So .NET publish is the command and myapp.csPros is the argument. Option. Okay. We can also pass some optional things to the command. So suppose I am performing an action and with that action I need to pass something. These things are optional. If you pass those things, then something will happen. Some changes will happen. If you don't pass them, then there will not be any error. That's why we call them optional. Everything which is optional are known as option. Suppose I am creating a new application, and so what is the command to create a new application? .NET new and the template. But if I need to provide the name of that template, then I can pass name also. And here name is completely optional. If you pass the name, then it will update your project accordingly. If you don't pass name, then you will not see any error and still your program works very well. So that's why we have these as optional. And now the most important part comes here. How to write a command. Every command is started with driver which is .NET. So this is the very basic structure of the command. First you have to write the driver which is .NET in .NET CLI. Then the verb, your command, your action, or optional you can also pass some arguments, and at the last you can pass your option. Okay, so for example, if I write .NET new my template and then I am passing some name as a option, so here I am passing everything. Arguments may be required or not based on the command. And now let's go to the CLI, which is command prompt in my case because I am working on the Windows system. And let's see few commands of the .NET CLI. On my left side I have the CLI and on the right side I have the file explorer. So we will write some commands on the CLI and we will see what changes are happening on the right side in the file explorer. So before doing anything, let's start from the help. Okay, so right now just suppose we don't know anything about the .NET CLI. So we have to learn everything from the .NET CLI itself. How to do that? So .NET and press -- help and press enter. You will see all the things which are related to the .NET core on your system. Now let's see what is the information available from this command .NET help. So I have the .NET core SDK. This is the SDK version which is installed on my system. How to use it? .NET, then the runtime options and path to application and the arguments. What is the use of this command? Execute a .NET core application. We can use it to execute a .NET core application. What are the runtime options? So these are the runtime options. What is path to application? The path to application which is defined here. This is the path to application, the DLL file. What are the uses? .NET SDK options, command options, arguments. Execute a .NET core SDK commands. What are the SDK options? So if you need to some details about the SDK, then you can type these things. dash dash info, you will get all the details related to the SDK which is installed on your system. And now these are the commands of the .NET SDK. So all these commands can be executed from this .NET CLI tool. Additional commands from bundle tools. So these are the additional commands. Now suppose I need to execute the new command, but I don't know anything about the new command. Then do not worry. All we have to do is type .NET new and type help. Now you will get all the help related to the new command. Okay, so in that .NET new, so these are the options. Always you can try these options. And now these are the templates. So with the command .NET new, you can always try these templates. These are the detailed name of the templates, and these are the short name of the templates. These are the languages which are defined for the template, and these are the tags to identify the template. Okay, now if you need to execute the command which is related to the .NET new, so this is how you can write your command .NET new MVC and the optional things. Okay, .NET new and the template, there is nothing optional. So these are few examples which you can try. Suppose I need to work with the console application. Okay, so what can I type? .NET new console. Now I don't know what to do next, so just give the space dash dash help. Now you will get all the information related to the console template. If I press enter here, so you will see the options which are always available there. So these are the language. If you need to filter the language, filters template based on language and specify the language of the template to create. So you can also filter the templates based on the language. These, and now here this is the detail of the console template. So this is a console application C#, because by default we use C# language here. And who is the author? It is Microsoft. What is the description of this project? It is a project for creating a command line application that can run on .NET Core on Windows, Linux and macOS. And what options you can try with this command? You can always try the language version, no restore. These are few examples. This is the help which is related to the .NET new console. So at any point of time of the command, you can type the help and you will get the help related to that particular command. Now suppose if I am working with the web application, okay, .NET new, if I type MVC, which is a template for the model view controller, and now I don't know what to pass as a option. Okay, so I can type help dash dash help, and if I press enter, so you will see there are a lot of things which are available for the MVC command. So these are the options, and this is the detail of the MVC project. ASP.NET Core web application model view controller, the language is C#. This is the author, this is the description, and these are the options. You can always type the auth, the authentication of the application. By default, if you need to set the authentication of the application, then you can use this command, this dash dash auth or dash au, and this is the arguments which are passed for the options: none, individual, B2C, the default is none. So that's how you can find all the information related to any template. Okay, if you need to work with the window application, then simply type the .NET new WPF and dash dash help. So basically wherever you are stuck, don't get stuck, just use the help command and you will get all the information for that particular command that you have written. This was related to the help command, and now let's see how to use few commands. Okay, suppose I am going to create a new project and here I am going to pass something as a optional. So .NET new console, and now I need to provide the name of the application. Okay, so let's see what changes will happen here on the right side. So name my first app. Okay, and if I press enter, you will see a new folder is created in the file explorer, and in this folder we have all the files which are required for the console application. This is how you can set the name of your application. And now let's build the solution. Okay, so .NET build. So here you will see what are the changes. We got a new folder which is bin, and inside the bin folder, the debug folder .NET Core app3.0, we have all the files which are generated after building the solution. That's how you can execute your .NET Core CLI commands. That's all in this part. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.